Yeah, I'm back. So today we're going to talk politics, my favorite subject. And we're going to talk about Donald Trump, the trial of Alan Bragg, the District Attorney of New York, Manhattan, and the sham trial. And I'm going to tell you why it's a sham trial. Matthew Coangelo was the second in command of the DOJ. He left that position, he went to Fannie Willis, and he brought a case with Fannie Willis. He left Fannie Willis and he went with Alan Bragg that turned down prosecuting this case 2 years ago. It's a case that's almost 7 years old for the people that don't know, and it's election interference. If you want to have democracy and you don't like Donald Trump, that's fine. Vote for the other person. Vote for RFK. Vote for Sleepy Joe Biden, who at this point, I don't know what it takes to wake up Americans, but we have a war in the Middle East. He walked out and left our soldiers, 13 of them killed, and a slew of Afghan people that were helping the United States to be butchered. He left billions of dollars of equipment. He has us in a war with Ukraine and Russia that we kind of instigate. For the people who don't know, we don't give a shit. This country doesn't give a shit. Joe Biden doesn't give a shit about Ukraine. It's one of the richest mineral countries in Europe. It's one of the most corrupt countries in Europe, Ukraine. And we're in the middle of that war for years. That's unending. They're taking taxpayer money and they're sending it all over the world. Late last night, China moved into their navy into the sea and threatening to go into Taiwan. But by today, maybe they're in Taiwan. They're going to invade Taiwan. So we're slowly moving with conflicts and wars around the world. What's there to say why I don't like Joe Biden? If that's not enough for you, we have an open border with millions of people, 15 million about, that have come across this border. And Christopher Wray is saying that we're under a high alert, the highest alert this country's ever had with terrorist attacks from the uncensored border and the without vetting who's walking in. So not only do we have terrorists in this country that will have a terrorist attack, we have millions of people that are jobless. We're giving billions away. I think it was $500 billion this year of taxpayer money that could go to the inner city schools, healthcare, and homeless, veterans, homeless children, single moms. And I could go on with that list where the money can go. You have fentanyl that killed my daughter. Fentanyl that's killing 100,000 plus kids every year with an open border. We have women being raped on the way over. We have men being forced to bring drugs over, or they'll kill their families in their countries. We have millions of people being let out of jails and crazy insane asylum institutes and being released in this country. We don't know what their criminal records are. They're throwing identifications away. We have children being trafficked. And Joe Biden's lying to the American people saying this. He needs Congress to pass a law so he can stop the border crisis. That's a complete lie. And for the people that are not knowledgeable, he undid 90-something executive orders that President Trump put in place, and that's why there was hardly any crossings. Well, President Trump was there, and that's why we have millions. It was intentional. That's why when Governor Abbott from Texas put the wire up, Joe Biden and his DOJ sued Governor Abbott to take it down to allow them to come in. We have the highest inflation this country has seen in decades. We have incredible amount of debt. We have gas prices that have doubled. And now Joe Biden is lowering gas prices, taking the reserve that Donald Trump put in case of emergency or wars, which we have conflicts all over the world. And right before the election, he's releasing it so he can lower gas prices to con people even further. He abandoned the black and the Spanish in the inner cities, took the money he claimed he didn't have for them, and he gave it to illegal immigrants. You have oil that he won't talk against Iran because he doesn't want the gas prices to rise before the election. So he just asked the UK and France not to go after Iran and say anything negative against them so they don't raise prices. Again, he's offering billions of dollars of free education to the rich so he can get the young vote, but he doesn't care again about the inner city kids. and what's in the cost of living for them. That's not helping them any. It's helping the rich kids at Harvard and Columbia and any other school, but you're abandoning again the inner city kids and their futures. So when people ask me, what do I think of Donald Trump? It's like betting the Ranger game. I'm a Ranger fan, but if the Rangers are playing whoever, they're playing the Lightnings, Tampa Bay Lightning, and you tell me you're going to give me $500 if I bet Tampa Bay Lightnings, I'm going with my money. So if you're any kind of normal American citizen, you care about your family first. So under Trump, there was no conflicts. There was no wars. Gas prices were half price. Inflation was non-existent. Interest rates were the lowest ever. Housing costs were way down. Energy prices were way down. And for the people that believe and buy into the Green Deal, this money grab of the Democratic Party, which I call the Communist Party now, in my opinion, is a joke. 0.004 is carbon dioxide in the air. It hasn't changed in 100 years. Anybody go up and look at it. If there's a building with 600 apartments, how are you ever going to electric grid in those apartments to charge those cars? Where's the inner city people going to get the money to buy a brand new electric car? Where are they going to get the money for the charger, $10,000, $15,000? Where are you going to put these charges? It's non-existent. And yet you have China and India, and nobody's involved in that deal. They're blowing the atmosphere with crazy numbers with their environment. It's insane that anybody's even buying into this nonsense. They're flying around in private jets. They're using all kinds of gas-operated trucks around this country, and they're attacking farmers. You're attacking farmers where you have a woman being wrestled by belts and being raped in the middle of the street in the daytime. You have criminals killing and robbing all over the streets. You have so much crime, and we take taxpayers' money to try to go after Trump, an ex-president, with Merchant, the judge that's behind this case, whose daughter's head of the Democratic Party, for their funding. And you're telling me that this guy doesn't remove himself as a judge? And there's no crime, and they won't say what the crime is, even after this trial is over right now, and they're doing closing arguments? No one even knows what he's there for. But why would you want to jail? This ain't a communist country. Why would you want to jail the opponent of Joe Biden? Give the American people their choice. Do they want Trump? Do they want Biden? Do they want RFK? Why isn't RFK given security, Secret Service security? Why is Joe Biden holding that back? Why isn't Joe Biden taking care of his granddaughter? I can go on. Why is it everybody okay that Joe Biden won't answer a question? This is the leader of this country. Doesn't everybody see we're going to go to World War III? He can't even answer a question. He won't sit there and answer a question. He can't. They got to hop him up on drugs 2-3 days prior before he can make a statement. Same thing when Iran attacked Israel. He didn't come out and make a statement because he wasn't able to. They have to hop him up on something before he can talk again. I don't know what this country needs to see to wake up before we're in World War III. The rest of the world understands he's weak. He's not capable. He's not coherent. And he's basically mentally incapable of answering a simple question from a child. Yet they're pushing him in front of us as a choice. He has no choice. I just gave the choices. Just look at the country, look at the debt we're in, look at the money for an average family and how's people going to survive. Again, Trump 2024, you don't have to like him personally, but his policies worked. There was no conflicts, and families were making a lot more money. There was no inflation, and these rates of inflation is another tax of 20%. American families first is Donald Trump, in my opinion. Trump 2024, and anybody shouldn't be okay with putting a president, ex-president, and a candidate for presidency on trial for something they could have did years ago, and they waited 7 years almost to bring him right before the election. We all know what's going on. How can everybody be complacent with this? This isn't American. This is not our values. God bless America. That should be everywhere. Should be proud to be an American, just like I'm proud to be Albanian American. Again, Trump 2024, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, everybody.